Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Dear Dream Diary with your host, Ashley. This is episode 12, and the title of today's episode is Held Captive. Before we get into today's dream, I want to refresh sleep patterns and cycles, and also the brain waves that our brain is emitting during each sleep stage. And to refresh, if you guys don't remember, we have stage 1, 2, 3, and 4. And the first 3 stages are non-REM sleep stages. And then, of course, the 4th stage is REM sleep. And during each stage, our brain emits different hertz of brain waves. Now, when you're awake, you're fully awake, you're concentrated, you're able to write a math test, an essay, your brain is emitting gamma rays, which is 30 to 100 hertz. And then, you're not as focused, but you're still awake. Your brain is emitting beta waves, which is 13 to 30 hertz. And then during your first stage of your sleep cycle, which is you're just starting to fall asleep, that's alpha waves that your brain is emitting, which is 8 to 13 hertz. And then during stage 2, which you're a little bit more into a deeper sleep, but not a deep sleep at all. It's a little bit heavier than the first stage. You're emitting theta waves, which is 4 to 8 hertz. And as you notice, the hertz are getting lower and lower. And also with the brain waves slowing down, your heart rate is slowing down, and it's slowing everything down in order to process through these sleep stages. Now, the third stage, which is deep sleep, there's a lot happening in this stage. So the brain waves are delta waves, which are 1 to 4 hertz. This is also the repair stage. If you guys don't remember, this is when our body does all the work it needs to do to repair itself physically. It's also categorizing your thoughts and everything you process throughout the day, and it's putting stuff, cataloging it. If you guys seen the movie, what is that, Inside Out, in the one scene, like they have the where they have to travel to, I forget what it is, it's like the archives, there we go, that's the word I was looking for. So it's kind of doing that. It's like categorizing your thoughts and everything that you had throughout the day, and it's archiving things that aren't really important but might be important later on in life. So stage 3, again, very, very important. There's a lot happening in that stage. And then, of course, you have stage 4, which is REM sleep. And our brain is emitting waves as if we were awake. So same brain waves as if we were awake, but it's also doing something else. Our body paralyzes itself so that we aren't acting out what's happening in our dreams, because that just would not be safe, especially for me, because my dreams are absolutely crazy, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that have just as crazy dreams as myself. And all these stages put together are called a cycle, and it takes about 90 to 120 minutes for one cycle to happen. And that is why you need to sleep at least 7 to 8 hours per night, because your body does need to go through at least 5 of these cycles in order to have a restorative sleep. And this whole entire cycle is known as your sleep architecture. So everyone's sleep architecture is going to be different because they go to bed later or earlier and wake up later or earlier and sleep longer or less. But I think everybody needs to be aware and know that this process is very important, and you need to maintain at least 7 hours of sleep per night. And that's an average for an adult. Children need to sleep a lot longer because their body is processing the sleep cycle differently than ours, and they also are growing. So they need more sleep to repair or re-energize their bodies than we do, because their body's working harder to process growing and everything else that they're going through. We're already fully grown. Our body isn't working harder to do that. I know sometimes it might not seem like it, but we do not need as much sleep as children. So that is kind of everything with the sleep cycle and brain waves that I wanted to talk about. Actually, one more thing. I don't know if I already mentioned it. I don't think I did, but everything has a vibrational frequency. Living, non-living, it's all emitting a vibrational frequency. And I'm going to do an episode talking about vibrational frequencies, but some people are more in tune with these frequencies than other people, and other people are not as in tune, and that's okay. But just know that everything does have a vibrational frequency, and it's emitting this frequency similar to our brain when we are sleeping. Our brain is very powerful. Like all this research I've done, I'm learning so much about the brain and psychology because it's obviously linked together. The brain and psychology go hand in hand. And there's a lot of different things with psychology I'd like to talk about too that I'm learning. Maybe on an episode, I'll do a whole psychology episode and different things that can be happening with your brain and psychology and various other things. I might do an episode on that. But this is a dreaming podcast. So let's get into my dream today. I haven't pulled a dream card yet for this episode, for this dream. I also haven't reread the dream yet because I find that it's more interesting when I'm rereading the dream as I'm reading it on my episodes. So, dear Dream Diary, in this dream, I was working as an actress on a TV show, and on the set was a restaurant / speakeasy in the beginning. I ended up being kidnapped and was in captivity for years. Eventually, I was able to go work in the convenience store they had upstairs. I would see my missing person information being broadcasted on the TV in this store. After a while being able to work in the store, I ended up seeing my son come in the store. He recognized me, so I told him to leave quick so they didn't take him and to go tell everyone where I was. Just as my son was leaving, another customer came in and wanted me to call him a cab, so I pretended to call the cab, but tried to call for help. One of the people that kidnapped me seen me calling for help and threw me into this haunted-looking room that had black walls, and on the center of one of the walls was a two-way mirror that had a frame around it that looked like small pillars. A giant demon-like creature came up behind me and started attacking me. The dream cut back to when I was first kidnapped and I was running away from 3 people that were throwing wooden stakes at me. I then woke up. End here. Okay. I actually was just talking about this dream yesterday with somebody, and to kind of give a better image, if this isn't clear enough what I read, because sometimes I jump back and forth because again, I'm writing this when I'm half asleep. So I sometimes don't make sense. But in the beginning of the dream, I was walking in this, it was like a set, like I was on a Hollywood set, and each little area was, set up differently for whatever the scene was going to be. And I remember there was like the restaurant / speakeasy, like that was the first part of the set, and that's where I was. So I remember being kidnapped from that part of it. And then it was kind of like a cut scene to in the future where I was working at this convenience store of the people that kidnapped me, but they had a basement. I got the feeling that's where I was held captive for all those years, however many years it was that I was kidnapped for. But I built a rapport with these kidnappers, and they allowed me to go work upstairs in the convenience store. And me seeing myself on the news as a missing person, it affected me, but I knew that I couldn't escape these people. And then seeing my son walk into the store gave me the hope that I was going to be able to be set free, because he knew that I was there. And I remember feeling like I need to get him out because they're just going to kidnap him too, and then he won't be free. So I rushed him out and had the hopes that he was going to tell my family or the police that I was here and they could come rescue me. And immediately after my son left, another customer came in and needed me to call a cab. But because I had that hope that I had seen my son, I wanted to get out. Like, I wanted to be with my family. So I pretended to call the cab for the person, but the people that had kidnapped me, which I remember not being able to see actual people. I just knew that I was being watched somehow. And they knew that I was calling for help. So again, it was like another cut scene that I was put back into this captivity spot, which felt like the basement to me, but also was kind of set up like the Hollywood set, you know, like each area kind of had a different scene set up. So I remember being in a scene that all the walls were like a dark red with mix of black in there. And on the one wall, there was like a two-way mirror, and it was framed with what looked like pillars, like, you know, the big wooden pillars. So it had the frame of the pillars around this two-way mirror. And I remember standing in front of it, looking at it to see if I can see anything on the other side. And at some point, there was a demon-like creature that came up behind me. He just came out of nowhere and he started attacking me, and I was trying to escape. And I can't remember the other figures that were after me, but I remember wooden stakes being thrown at me, and I could feel the wooden stakes like actually going into my body. And then I just woke up. Like, I don't remember escaping this scene, but it was very scary scene for me. Like, seeing this dark room and then this demon-like creature, which was kind of like a devil, actually. Like, he was also red too and had like these horns on his head, and he was attacking me. He's the one who initiated, and I remember running through these different sets trying to get away from them, and then that's when I started to feel like the wooden stakes being thrown at me and like going through my body. I'm trying to like think about what this could mean for me, and a couple things do come to mind. One of the biggest things that come to mind is I feel like in my waking life, I'm constricted by what I'm able to do. You know, the jobs that I have, the two jobs that I have, I'm not giving enough back, or they're constricting me to not be able to give what I want to give back. So I feel like maybe consciously in my waking life, the things that I have going on are the kidnappers in the dream. Like, the kidnappers represent the things that are constricting me. So for example, you know, my jobs, like I just said, and then I'm trying to think of what else is coming to me. Another thing is, like, the jobs constricting me, they're taking away time from my children. So I guess when my son came into the store, that gave me the hope of escaping, which when I'm in my waking life, when I do come home, I feel at peace. I feel happy. And my children give me the hope that I need in order to keep going. So I think that my son coming into the store where I was being held captive is, you know, the same sign as in my waking life. You know, my children give me hope. I'm trying to remember everything as I'm trying to interpret it here. And I guess maybe that other customer who came in afterwards, me trying to call for help, is a sign for change. but maybe I'm too afraid to take a step or make a change in order to give myself what it is that I want. And that's absolutely true. You know, going back to money and financial things, like I'm too afraid to leave something and start new because of the financial constrictions. And maybe that's another sign, like the people who kidnapped me is the money holding me captive. And then when I tried to make that call, I was too afraid to stay on the phone to make that change. I then, had the cut scene to where I was back in the basement and I had no freedom and I was being chased and trying to escape. And I feel like this is another internal struggle with myself, that I'm too afraid to take that step to make the change in order to give myself what it is that I'm looking for, what it is that I want. And this financial situation is what's holding me captive. Like myself and my fear is what's holding me captive. I feel like maybe that's what's going on. Now, I do want to pull a dream card, but there's so much happening in this dream. I don't even know what card I should pull. So I'm going to go through them and see what kind of sticks out to me and which one I should read. So I think I'm going to read Chased because I did end up being chased. And I have colors and numbers here because that dark room, it was like black and red. Those two colors kind of stuck out to me. So I'm going to read Chased first because I was being chased before I went into this room with the colors. So for Chased, that's card number 17. And I did read this on my last episode, but I'm going to read it again to see if anything sticks out to me. So, being chased represents those things that you are running away from. Being pursued, attacked, hunted, trapped, stuck, unable to speak, immobilized, slow motion movement. Being chased and or attacked is the most common anxiety dream, reflecting your insecurities and the fears you experience in waking life. The dreamer tries to outrun a wild animal, a dark figure, a gang of thugs, a monster, or another pursuer who means harm. Some issues are making you feel under pressure and you feel you have no control other than to run away, outrun and avoid them. You may feel guilty about getting caught for something you have done. Chase dreams have been regular visitors since childhood, and until you confront these fears at the conscious level, they will keep coming back and turn into reoccurring dreams. Ask yourself who is chasing you and what they represent to you in your life. It may be your natural instincts, wild animal, or emotions, monster or faceless person, or parts of yourself you don't want to acknowledge, monster or shadow. The attacker can also represent parts of yourself. It is therefore an internal struggle. Feelings and behavior that you find difficult to control, such as anger, jealousy, violence, too much alcohol, can take an appearance of something or someone threatening in a dream. Your dream is asking you to face these self-destructive qualities and actions so that they can be addressed at a conscious level. Dreams of being paralyzed or unable to move are also experienced during REM sleep, when the body is in a natural paralysis while the brain is active. You may also feel paralyzed, trapped, or running in slow motion because the dream is telling you that you have to face a problem or an unresolved issue that you won't be allowed to run away from. It could also be pointing out how you are feeling in waking life, trapped and powerless. Consider what is holding you back. Think about whether you are feeling overwhelmed by some aspect of your life and what demands are being placed on you. It could suggest that you have issues with commitment and are hard to catch or pin down, or something you are afraid of, such as aging is catching up with you and you have no control over it. Consider what it is that is making you feel vulnerable and not safe in your real life, and whether you are able to escape from the situation. So I know that this card I read on my last episode for one of the dreams I had, but the same thing is kind of sticking out to me, and I'll reread the sentence that sticks out to me. The attacker can also represent parts of yourself. It is therefore an internal struggle. So a little bit different internal struggle than what I talked about on my last episode. I know my last internal struggle I talked about was facing childhood trauma and overcoming that. This one is actually, for me, what I think is it's facing the fear of making a change. And that is definitely an internal struggle. Like you constantly are questioning yourself and the things you do daily. And what if I do this and this happens? Well, everything is like the Wheel of Fortune, like the tarot card. Everything is constantly changing and spinning. So if you make a change and it doesn't work out, well, then you can make another change. And you can keep changing and changing until you find something that works out. And if for some reason this cycle of change, it just doesn't keep working out for you, then there's something there to process and learn. So I need to stop fighting with myself to make a change and make the change. What that change is, that's another struggle. Like, I don't know if I should be changing a career or stepping back from one and allowing something new to come in. That's what I'm struggling with. You know, it's not that I'm afraid to do it. I'm afraid to do it and not have something else in place. So, I mean, there is fear there, right? But how do I move past that and allow the change to happen? That's kind of where I'm at right now. Now I'm going to read colors and numbers because, again, the room was it was like black and red, like a deep, deep red. So I'm going to read that, which that is card number 22. Just finding it here in my book. So colors and numbers symbolize how you view the world and its synchronicities. And the themes are seeing colors, odd colors that don't match an object, colors of clothing, objects, cars, blood, numbers relating to lottery, phone numbers, money amounts, numbers for racing, house numbers, temperature, age, time. None of that is really sticking out to me, but I'll read the card and see. So most people dream in color, and women are more likely to do so than men. If you do not dream in color or cannot recall colors in your dream, do not be concerned, as the dream indicates that it does not matter. Shades of black, white, and gray suggest that it's the object or the action around it in the dream that is important and not the detail. The dreaming mind goes to a great deal of trouble to highlight certain colors to make you pay attention to your feelings. Negative and positive ones. Sorry, I'm just going to read that again. The dreaming mind goes to a great deal of trouble to highlight certain colors to make you pay attention to your feelings, negative and positive ones. You may be afraid to admit to having certain feelings about situations in your life, or you simply are not aware of them consciously. The following colors are associated with these images and feelings. So I'm just going to go right to red. So that's energy/danger. And black equals mystery, unconscious. So red signifies danger. So, and then black is mystery, unconscious. So the fact that I feel like this dream is relating to the fear of making a change in order to allow myself what it is I want in life is like the unknown. Like, I'm going to make this change, but I don't know if it's going to work out. Or if it doesn't, then I feel danger or unsafe because the unknowing if something is going to pan out is fearful itself. Like, that thought is fearful itself. And that's interesting because I feel like I'm always surprised when I interpret my dreams, because it makes sense to me when I do interpret them. Like, yes, this, and it's crazy that the things that happened in my dream correlate to something so different than what it actually means, right? And that's, our subconscious mind does that to us. It tells us something in the most wild, chaotic way, so far unrelated to what you're actually experiencing. And that is why our unconscious mind, like only some of the thoughts from our unconscious mind actually make it to the conscious level, because consciously, I don't think we would be able to handle the thoughts that our subconscious are processing. Now, for the interesting part of this, because remember, guys, these dream cards that I got come with oracle cards. So once you kind of interpret or find a card that relates to this dream, or, maybe you interpret it, find a meaning for yourself, you're supposed to pull an oracle card to either validate that meaning or show you something that you're missing from the dream. Like, what is this dream showing us? So I'm going to pull an oracle card. And again, when I pull oracle cards, I ask the question, I ask for spirit guidance. And that guidance is, what is this dream telling me? What do I need to know about this dream? And I keep going until, I shuffle the deck until I feel like a card is speaking to me, or until a card pops out. So 3 cards kind of just jumped out here. The first was wisdom, and on the card it says, experience and failure lead to wisdom. Apply wisdom to a present situation. Learn from the spirit world and its collective knowledge. Already the first sentence is kind of validating what I just said this dream means to me. So experience and failure lead to wisdom. So I'm going to read what it means. So yesterday I was clever, so I wanted to change the world. Today I am wise, so I am changing myself. There is a distinct difference between knowledge and wisdom. It is through having many experiences and becoming discerning about what you are told that you begin to gain wisdom. For most people, wisdom comes after an excess of anything: diets, belief systems, studies, bad relationships, or career changes. Eventually, you say enough. Your understanding leads to wisdom, and you only accept what is valuable to you and discard the rest. Wisdom is looking back and learning from the lessons through experiences that at the time you might consider to have been failures. Albert Einstein said, "Anyone who has never made a mistake has never tried anything new." Failure is a learning process that ultimately leads to success because you've eliminated what you don't find useful. Apply wisdom to your life's path right now. Don't be tempted to follow other people's ambitions. Use your inner wisdom to discern what your heart wants. Look deeper into a present situation. Use your experience to sort out what is at play, and don't be reactive. It is a time to trust your intuition and learn from teachings of the elders, nature spirits, spiritual guides, and your higher self. Apply the wisdom you have gained and walk your talk. Okay, the other card that I pulled was nurture. Take care of your needs first. Your nurturing will benefit others only if your own needs are met first. Nurture the new in your life and watch it grow. So the very first sentence, take care of your needs first. So again, my main focus and goal in life is to spend as much time with my family as possible and provide for them, teach my children, help them grow, help them learn. And it is hard for me to do that when I work 2 jobs. So take care of your needs first. So I have to take care of myself and make a change in order to get to where I want to go, which is spending more time with my children and my kids. So I'm going to read the card. So nurture yourself. Actually, it says here, When you do things from your soul, you feel a river moving in you, a joy. Nurture yourself. Put yourself first today. This is the time to put your own needs and wants above the needs and expectations of others. Be your own caregiver first and foremost before you try to nurture others. Spend time taking care of your own needs. It may be as simple as rewarding yourself with a luxurious bath or just taking time out from the grind and the have-to-do list. It will renew your body and soul. There comes a time when your energy is low, when you've given all you can and you cannot give any more of yourself. Your tank is empty. Focus on giving yourself the time, care, and undivided attention that you usually give to others. Rest and relaxation are musts. When you care for yourself, you show others that you have self-worth. It's interesting because I just had a conversation with my friend, literally like 20-30 minutes ago, and I said that the last few days have been weighing heavy on me, and I'm not my typical positive self where I, give random strangers compliments and everything. So I feel like this card, while yes, it does kind of relate to my dream, like take care of myself first, give, supply myself with my wants and needs, and then I'm able to give to others. So if I focus on myself, I can, maybe make that change in order to get to where I want to go. So I think this is for the dream and also for the moment right now because of how I've been feeling the last few days. So I'm going to continue reading. Where was I though? Okay, so when you care for yourself, you show others that you have self-worth. When energy returns, you can give the best of yourself and be more effective in helping others. Nurture with unconditional love and give from your purest heart. Plant seeds with great care and tenderness and watch a garden grow. It is time to tend to a new relationship, a new project, a family, your home, and whatever needs care in your world. Give them the tenderness they require to be nourished and bloom. Be kind to yourself so that you too can blossom and share your beauty with those around you. Let go of self-criticism. Know that your efforts are coming to fruition. Don't abandon your needs. I don't know if that's how you say that word. All right. Self-care is the first step in learning to nurture your spirit, your body, and your mind. I'm going to go right to the last card here. And the last card that I pulled was growth. And on the card itself, it says, growth requires you to step out of your comfort zone. Growing pains can help you in gaining wisdom and experience. The old must be left behind before growing into the new. How accurate is that with my dream interpretation? Tell me that the universe is not here listening, sending messages, sending synchronicities. Tell me that that's not a thing. You can't because it just happened. You guys have witnessed it. So growth. Every moment I shape my destiny with a chisel. I am the carpenter of my own soul. You are ready to take a leap of faith, and in doing so, you will grow from this act of faith. Growth means stretching yourself beyond your comfort zone. It can be uncomfortable as you go through the growing phase because you are used to resisting change, even if it's good for you. The only constant is change. It's important not to hang tightly to the familiar you. Let me read that again. It's important not to hang tightly to the familiar you. Watch how you are outgrowing yourself in different areas of your life. Perhaps you are going back to study, seeking help to heal past wounds, or creating space for spirituality. If you embrace rather than fight the no pain, no gain mantra, you stop being fearful of change and stop thinking it's bad for you. You must be willing to embrace the new and grow into your very best self. Take a risk. See what happens when you become committed to your personal growth. Give up the old. The hermit crab knows when it has outgrown its shell and it searches for a replacement so it can fit more comfortably. If it leaves it too late, it will never be able to extricate itself from the shell it's in, and consequently, that will prevent it from growing. Take action and the universe will conspire with you to make it happen. Be willing to grow in every area of your life. light bulb moments come to you in the stretch zone rather than your predictable comfort zone. Challenge yourself to step out of the familiar and adapt insecurity as part of the deal on the road to growth and elimination. In reality, the only thing you can count on is change. Resisting change creates limitations, which are fed by your fears and block your potential for growth. We must become the change we seek in the world, Gandhi said. That's actually really interesting that this quote is coming back to me, because I'm going to tell you guys a little story. We have this bulletin board at work, and we post things sometimes, during different holidays. We'll post little jokes relating to the holiday, like Christmas jokes or whatever. So the board was empty the one day, and I decided to put that quote on it. Be the change you wish to see in the world, Gandhi. Well, a little bit later on in the day, I'm coming out of the bathroom, because it's right by the bathroom. This board is right by the bathroom. I'm coming out of the bathroom, and I see two of my coworkers, one of which is erasing the board. And it didn't bother me that much, but I'm like, I over exaggerate everything just to like have a laugh, right? So I come out of the bathroom and I'm like pretending to gasp for air, like I'm heartbroken that they're erasing this message. And then one of my other coworkers that was standing there, the one not erasing it, which I'm friends with her, she tells me this crazy thing about Gandhi that I didn't know. And then the other coworker had said it really triggered her, which it didn't. She never said that it did. But it's just interesting that this quote is coming back to me. And I regardless of what Gandhi did and the things that he partook in or partake, whatever he participated in is irrelevant to this quote. And I will say that again. Whatever Gandhi participated in is irrelevant to this quote, because this quote is so powerful. And I'll say it again, and I'm going to say it slowly. Be the change you wish to see in the world. Not only in the world, though. Be the change you wish to see. And while the wording might be different than what's written in this little oracle, because what's written in the oracle is, we must become the change we seek in the world, it's still the same thing. Still the same message, just different wording. That is a very, very strong quote. And it's the first time I read that quote, it stuck with me, because everyone wants something different in the world. But what are you doing about that in order to change it? If your answer is nothing, well, you're not changing anything. So if you want something to change, it starts with you. You change that, and the world will change with you. Let that sink in, guys. That concludes today's episode. I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to leave today's episode there. If you guys have any questions about the sleep cycles, the stages, the brain waves, my dream, your dream, these cards that I pulled, please message me. I haven't really had anybody message me in a while, but that's okay. I have a lot of people coming up to me face to face, which I love. I love that, guys. I really appreciate your support and coming to me with your dreams and questions and everything. I think that is what has started my self-realization that I am smart, which I had that conversation with my friend. But it's people coming up to me and telling me I'm smart and asking me these questions, and the combination of that and me realizing that I am actually smart, self-realization. Anyways, that is everything, folks. Please message me if you have any questions. And until next time, I hope you all have sweet dreams.